Oh, guys, Coach Barrick here. You might have seen some of the coaches and some of the members with this red band. It says, no excuses, no complaining, no blaming. So one of the things that I'm trying to do at the gym, we're trying to foster, is um, that we're working towards better, right? And whenever somebody finishes the on ramp on that fourth session, they're going to get one of these bands. And the reason is when you've committed yourself to start working towards your goals, to start working towards whatever the reason is that got you into the gym, that brought you to equity, whatever that reason is, you're trying to get better. You're trying to get to that thing. And when we're trying to get to that thing, excuses, complaining, and blaming aren't going to help you get there. And I would say that they're counter to getting to that place. If you're trying to lose 30 pounds and every weekend you complain about what you ate over the weekend, that's not helping. Or you blame somebody else for every time I'm doing good on my diet, and then you know my friend brings over a 6 pack of these nice IPAs, and I just can't say no, right? It's their fault. I can't lose any weight. You already know what I'm going to say next, right? Whose fault is it? Now that being said, we actually don't even want to use that language as well, because we don't need to associate guilt with this. What we need to work on is working towards better. We need to make a better decision. We need to take one step forward instead of looking for perfect. We don't need perfect. We need to work towards better. So your buddy brings over a 6 pack. You have one. Or you're like, you know what? I just want to try. Like, he brought over like 6 different ones. I'm going to do like a flight. I'm just going to try a bunch of different ones and really savor that and enjoy that flight, right? But you don't need to have 6, right? You don't need to go over the top, right? Is this thing going to help you get to where you want to go? Is the thing that I'm complaining about, that I have an excuse about, that I'm blaming somebody else for, is this going to help me or not? When we do these 3 things, it's not helping us towards our goal. It just sets up, oh, this is why I'm not successful. When there is something that you can do to help get you closer to where you want to be. Or it gets you stuck into contentment, into never reaching for more, which is not ideal either. That's when we start losing our happiness. Now we're getting a little more philosophy. I guess this is philosophy. So every time we walk into the gym, excuses, blaming, complaining, stop as soon as you walk in that door. We don't want it in there. People like us don't do that. People like us work hard. We do hard work. We look how far we've come, not how far we have to go. That doesn't mean we're not striving for that ideal, for that goal. But when we just compare ourselves to now versus that ideal, happiness doesn't come from that. If we start looking back, that can be helpful. Look how far we've come. Look at the steps I've taken to keep getting better. It's also not productive. It's not going to help you get you to where you want to be. This is a reminder. We're not going to be perfect with this. I'm going to complain. Literally, I think the day I was giving them out, I was wearing it, and I had given them out to a bunch of people like right before class started, and there were sit-ups, and I'm sitting there doing sit-ups after like the 3rd round, and I'm like, this is bullshit. The sit-ups are bullshit. right? I falter. I'm far from my ideal. But now I have a reminder to be like, hey, stop. Stop doing that thing. It's not helpful. When we can focus that energy into a more positive, a more helpful way, now all of a sudden more is possible. When we stop blaming others, when we stop having an excuse, only if I could do this, only if I could do that, all of a sudden we can start making more progress. And we realize that we can take ownership. That's the last thing, right? Instead of blaming, complaining, and having excuses, take ownership. There is one person that you can control. There's one thing that you can, there's only one person that can change your life, and that's you. You need to take ownership. If you're not where you want to be, there's one person responsible for that, and there's one person that's going to help you get you there, and that's you. And that goes for everybody. So this is a reminder that you joined Equity for a reason. And by not doing these three, by taking ownership, you're going to work towards why you joined the gym. We're going to get there. So just a little bit of background about why we have these and what I'm hoping that they will do, because it's helping me. And I don't have the same experience as everybody else, but I think that people struggle in a similar way. And if you do, hopefully this can help remind you to work towards better, work towards not being so hard on yourself, not towards setting excuses for yourself, keeping yourself accountable, not blaming others. This went a lot longer than I anticipated. This was meant to be like 2 minutes. Thanks. If you didn't get one yet, ask one of the coaches. They'll get you one. I'm trying to hand them out before every class. Sometimes I forget. Thank you guys. Cheers.